One introduction. Rosep view. The United States government was on track in the Biden administration to reduce the prices for both clean energy heat pumps and clean energy electric cars. Trump tariffs are expected to upset those plans to prevent future air pollution and prevent climate change. The United States government should, instead of certifying wood stoves as safe when they are not safe, go forward with regulations that ban wood stove use and direct government money for use of forest refuse only. For home building and furniture building, for just a few examples of use of forest products for non-burning uses, it is well known from scientific and medical research that wood burning is a substantial source of PM 2.5 emissions, yet the wood burning industry uses the scientifically debunked theory named carbon neutrality of wood burning to argue that wood burning replacing coal burning in industry and in a trickle-down argument that wood burning should continue for home heating should continue. Presumably because it is called renewable, wood may be renewable in the sense that a tree can be planted in the place of a cut-down burned tree, but it takes centuries or decades for the newly planted tree to attain the stature of the cut-down burned tree. During those centuries or decades, photosynthesis, which converts CO2 to oxygen and so sequesters some carbon, will not take place at the same rate as photosynthesis was performed previously, and wood burning emits both CO2 and PM 2.5, and PM 2.5 is not absorbed by trees, so PM 2.5 is not diminished by planting a tree in the place of a cut-down and burned tree. In fact, a living tree closes its pores against the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning, just as humans hold their breath in the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning. And when a tree closes its pores, the level of photosynthesis that absorbs CO2 pollution goes down. Wood burning emits 90% PM 2.5 particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lungs, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. Contrary to many beliefs, wood burning emits 2.8 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel coal burning, and wood burning emits 450 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel natural gas burning. Replacing coal burning with wood burning creates more air pollution in the form of CO2 and PM 2.5 than coal burning. This emission data comes from testing the cleanest burning wood stove in the United Kingdom, the Eco-Design Wood Stove, and International Convention does not count the emissions from wood burning. The emissions from wood burning are erased from all countries around the world when calculating if each country has met its climate goals. This non-counting or erasure of wood burning emissions data from climate goals does not mean wood burning emissions do not exist. Rosep view. Purple air. PM 2.5 monitors hanging from the eaves of the house of a near neighbor should be used to measure the level of PM 2.5 in the air hyperlocally in the yards of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners. If PM 2.5 levels exceed World Health Organization standards of 5 micrograms per cubic meter annually, then that evidence of air pollution from wood burning should lead to the shutdown of that indoor residential wood burning appliance, one appliance at a time if necessary.
Hi, my name is Lily. Andrew gave you the intro to residents against wood smoke emission particulates and their concern for air pollution from indoor residential wood burning. Residents against wood smoke emission particulates, or ROSEP, would like every near neighbor of an indoor residential wood burner whose wood smoke enters their yards and sickens the near neighbors to have a purple air PM 2.5 monitor hanging from the eaves of their home to measure the level of PM 2.5 entering their yards. That measurement of air pollution should be used as evidence of unnecessary air pollution, and each indoor residential wood burner should be shut down based on that evidence, one indoor residential wood burner at a time if necessary. The presentation by Andrew ended at 2 minutes 5 seconds. The same presentation by Emma starts at 2 minutes 3 seconds before the end of this podcast. So I am Lily, your timekeeper, and you can start the next podcast at 2 minutes 5 seconds in if you would not like to see the presentation by Andrew a second time. This presentation by me, Lily, ends at 5 minutes in. What you will see in the main content of this ROSEP podcast will be news about air pollution from indoor residential wood burning and how that air pollution is being combated by ordinary people just like you who are unfortunately near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners at this time. There will also be news about unnecessary and highly polluting use of wood as fuel in industrial wood burners and preventable air pollution from wood burning wildfires. There will also be news about air pollution from PM 2.5 from gas-powered cars. There will also be news about airborne diseases which are also preventable with vaccines such as COVID-19 and measles and whooping cough, to name just a few. In 2025, Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates is also concerned with combating the Trump destruction of government funding for programs which protect human health through the Department of Health and Human Services, and Trump destruction of programs which fund the science and medical research plan to protect human health from preventable illnesses. Protecting human health is a patriotic act, and our defense against enemies is weakened if we are not as healthy as we can be. Heat pump rebates are now offered by the federal government, distributed through the eligible United States, are available in 2025 and are the best, cleanest, and now cheapest alternative to indoor residential wood burning if that burning is actually done to purportedly save money. Wind and solar as sources of the electricity that powers heat pumps and electric cars is also cheaper than burning wood. The adverse health effects that are caused by indoor residential wood burning also come at a cost to near neighbors, both in shortening and ending their lives and in actual hospital, clinic, and funeral costs. Instead of being compensated monetarily, near neighbors should instead be able to achieve immediate relief by stopping indoor residential wood burning in their hyper-localized neighborhoods, which relief readings from purple air PM 2.5 monitors used as evidence of air pollution will help them achieve. Welcome to news about hopeful scientific and medical achievements that will also help us achieve the goal of clean air to breathe.
Episode 57 DHWB June 3, 2025 UK target is at least 600,000 heat pumps installations per year by 2028. In Episode 57 DHWB 1 North America 2 United States 3 California 4 Colorado 5 Florida 6 Indiana 7 Michigan 8 New Jersey 9 Ohio 10 Oregon 11 South Carolina 12 Tennessee 13 Washington 14 Wisconsin 15 Canada 16 United Kingdom 17 Belgium 18 China 19 PM 2.5 and Human Health 20 Wood Smoke and Human Health Main Content 1 North America Heat Pumps Analysis Report 2025 $50 billion GlobeNewswire The North America heat pumps market is driven by rising energy costs, environmental concerns and supportive government incentives. 2 A United States heat pumps homeowners stunned by little known system that cuts energy costs. Here is how to find out. Yahoo! Why are there so many heat pump incentives? In short, both the federal government and most states offer incentives on heat pumps because they are a 2B United States heat pumps interactive heat pumps the future of smart efficient climate control PHCP pros. As someone excitedly and passionately involved in the geothermal and heat pump industry, I am eager to share insights about interactive heat pumps. 2C United States heat pumps. What planning changed to make installing heat pump easier for millions? 2D United States heat pumps. What are heat pumps and how much do they cost? Yahoo! Heat pumps run on electricity instead of gas. They warm buildings by absorbing and amplifying heat from the air, ground or water. 2E United States heat pump rebates or clean energy tax credits a thing of the past? Kiplinger apply for the High Efficiency Electric Home Rebate Program, which offers qualifying homeowners rebates on stoves, heat pump, water heaters, electric. 2F United States heat pump rebates. This small but mighty tax credit is boosting U.S. solar manufacturing, but it is at risk. Energy Sage explore heat pumps, the latest in clean. 2G United States PM 2.5 Association of Ambient Fine Particulate Matter and its chemical constituents with preterm birth, BMC, pregnancy and childbirth. Biomed Central. We performed a sibling matched cohort study to explore the association between PM 2.5 constituents and the risk of PTB changes in PM 2.5 and the 3A California Amador County Pacific Fire. Wood burning breaking. Pacific Fire reported in Amador County on May 28. Merced Sunstar. Pacific Fire has been burning on private land at this time. Their breaking. Wood Fire reported in Fresno County on May 28. 3B California Amador County Peterson Fire. Wood burning breaking. Peterson Fire reported in Amador County on May 28. Merced Sunstar. Peterson Fire has been burning on private land at this time. The breaking. Wood Fire reported in Fresno County on May 28. 3C California Amador County Peterson Fire. Wood burning breaking. Peterson Fire reported in Amador County on May 28. San Luis Obispo Tribune. Peterson Fire has been burning on private land at this time. The Wood Fire reported in Fresno County on May 28. 3D California Butte County Bell Fire. Wood burning breaking. Bell Fire reported in Butte County on May 28. Merced Sunstar. Bell Fire has been burning on private land. Breaking. Wood Fire reported in Fresno County on May 28. 3E California Fresno County. Wood burning breaking. Wood Fire reported in Fresno County on May 28. Fresno B. Wood Fire has been burning on private land. Currently there is no data on the containment status of the fire and the cause has yet to be determined. 3F California Loma Linda. Wood smoke. As wildfire season approaches, doctors warn parents to be ready for asthma flare-ups. News. Loma Linda University. Smoke are triggering an increase in asthma attacks and do not use wood-burning stoves, furnaces or fireplaces. 3G California Los Angeles. Wood burning breaking. New wildfire reported in Los Angeles County on May 28. Merced Sunstar. Wildfire breaks out in Los Angeles County. CA Merced Sunstar. The wildfire has been burning on private land. Wood Fire reported in Fresno County on May 28. 3H California Madera County. Wood burning breaking. New wildfire reported in Madera County on May 28. Merced Sunstar. The wildfire has been burning on private land. Currently there. Wood fire reported in Fresno County on May 28. 3I California Merced County and Fresno County. Wood burning breaking. New wildfire reported in Merced County on May 28. Merced Sunstar. The wildfire has been burning on private land at this time. The breaking. Wood fire reported in Fresno County on May 28. 3J California Mountain View Heat Pump Rebates for residents. What green incentives are available this spring? Mountain View Voice Heat Pump HVAC Rebate residents can get up to $2,500 heat pump water heater rebate. Residents can earn a rebate of up to 3K California San Bernardino County wood burning. Breaking new wildfire reported in San Bernardino County on May 28. San Luis Obispo Tribune. The wildfire has been burning on private land. Wood fire reported in Fresno County on May 28. 3 liters California San Francisco PM 2.5 California homeowners to change landscaping due to Zone 0 rules. San Francisco Chronicle. The California Zone 0 regulations are expected to ban grass and wood fencing within 5 feet of homes. Burning regulations. How did the requirement come about? With the exception of large trees, all plants within 5 feet of the home must be removed or replanted elsewhere. Zone 0 also must be kept clear of bark mulch, wood chips, leaf litter and other dead or dying plant material. Hardscape materials like gravel, pavers, flagstones, rock or concrete are allowed in Zone 0. For Colorado, Denver, Canada. What smoke winds push smoke from Canadian wildfires south into U.S. and worsen air quality. 9 news. Avoid heavy exertion outdoors using fans or swamp coolers that take air from outside. All wood burning appliances and lighting candles and incense. 5 Florida Tampa Bay heat pump rebates. This is a great time to get a heat pump installed in your home. Fox 13 News. Jessica Dalton, spokesperson for Rocky Mountain Power, says they have already jumped through the hoops to make sure they are rebate experts. So you 6 Indiana Terre Haute heat pump rebates. Terre Haute residents eligible for Energy Saver program. Local news. CNHnews.com. CNHI News. The home efficiency rebate is available to all Indiana heat pump sustainable technologies energy conservation. 6B Indiana Terre Haute heat pump rebate. City of Terre Haute announces new energy savings program. WebKit provides rebates for purchasing and installing energy efficient appliances and necessary electrical upgrades. Eligible items include heat pump. 7A Michigan, Detroit, Canada. What smoke? Canadian wildfire smoke expected to affect air quality in southeast Michigan on May 30. Detroit Free Press. Activities that contribute to air pollution like outdoor burning and use of residential wood burning devices should be reduced or stopped. 7B Michigan, Grand Rapids PM 2.5 comparing the smoke plume to the smoky summer of 2023. WZZM13.com. WZZM13 PM 2.5 or fine particulate matter. PM 2.5 is a very tiny particulate. 7C Michigan, Grand Rapids, Canada. Wood smoke cool and quiet start to June as wildfire smoke lingers. Wood.com. As June begins, wildfire smoke lingers with temperatures on the cooler side today. Hazy skies, some sunshine emerging. Low 39, high 68 wind. 7D Michigan, Canada. Wood smoke, hazy skies ahead. Wildfire smoke moving into Michigan Friday. YouTube of a cold front. May 29, 2025. Hazy skies ahead. Wildfire smoke moving into Michigan Friday. 8 New Jersey, Canada. Wood smoke, dense smoke from Canadian wildfires is blowing into U.S. The Washington Post. Man charged with starting New Jersey wildfire by burning wood pallets. 9 Ohio, Columbus, Canada. What smoke? Central Ohio air quality worsens due to Canadian wildfire smoke. The Columbus Dispatch. It is also recommended to set your air conditioning system to recirculate and avoid burning candles, vacuuming and using gas or wood burning stoves. 10 Oregon, Multnomah County, Portland. Wood burning to fight homelessness. Multnomah County Commissioner proposes slashing Sustainability Office. KGW. The office also advocates for changing laws that impact the environment. For example, the Multnomah County Wood Smoke Ordinance, which prohibits wood burning. Portland, Oregon. With Multnomah County in the midst of significant budget cuts, one commissioner has proposed slashing the county Office of Sustainability in order to preserve funding for homeless services. Environmental advocates argue that this would be a crippling blow to a small but mighty agency. If we lose that, we are losing that proactive, effective work to protect our community from the climate crisis that we are in, said Mary Pevetto. Pevetto co-founded Neighbors for Clean Air, a grassroots advocacy organization based in downtown Portland that has been around for 15 years. 11 South Carolina, Canada. What smoke? Wildfire smoke to blame for hazy skies this weekend in South Carolina. Spectrum News. Reduce or eliminate activities that contribute to air pollution such as outdoor burning and use of residential wood burning devices. Below shows the 12 Tennessee Nashville PM 2.5 Air Quality Advisory Wildfire Smoke Prompts Expanded Warning Fox 17 Particulate Matter referred to as PM 2.5 when PM 2.5 moves into the area there is no chemical reaction, hence Spock said sunlight does not. 13 Washington Bellingham Heat Pump Rebates. Washington homeowners tap into HVAC rebates to boost efficiency and cut costs. My Bellingham now installing a heat pump system not only provides efficient heating but also offers high efficiency air conditioning since heat pumps handle both. 14 Wisconsin Milwaukee Canada What smoke? Wildfire smoke from Canada blankets Milwaukee skies. Wisn't it actually is burning wood but not from anywhere near here. Wildfires. Milwaukee residents experienced hazy skies and the smell of smoke Friday as 15 A Canada British Columbia PM 2.5 Association of Long-Term PM 2.5 and its components exposure with ovarian ScienceDirect.com PM 2.5 exposure alone or combined raises the risk of OHSS the 1 year before oocyte retrieval are key for OHSS risk. 15B Canada Ontario Ottawa Kitchissippi Ward Heat Pump Rebates. Financial incentives make improving energy efficiency in your home even more attractive. Kitchissippi Times Heating to a heat pump system. The money applies to both the purchase. The Ottawa loans can be combined with other energy efficiency rebate incentive. 15C Canada Prince Edward Island Heat Pump Rebates. PEI government reducing many of its energy efficiency rebates as of Monday. CBC The heat pump rebate for residential properties is set to decrease from heat pump rebate increasing from $600 to $900. Rebates are also 15D Canada Prince Edward Island Heat Pump Rebates. Rebate changes coming to heat pumps, solar EVs and PEI Saltwire. However, heat pump rebates for residential properties will be changed from $1,200 to $900 per mini split heat pump and from $2,400 to $1,800 for a lower. 15E Canada PM 2.5 How air quality is measured when wildfire smoke rolls in CTV News. So let us say that the PM 2.5 is 60. That means that out of a million molecules of dry air 60 of those will be particulate matter 2.5 Desjardins. 16 A United Kingdom Heat Pumps. The Heat Pump Guide. Everything you need to know. The Guardian heat pumps take heat from outside, make it warmer and transfer it into a building to provide heating and hot water depending on the type pumps can. 16B United Kingdom Rossepview UK target is at least 600,000 heat pumps installations per year by 2028. Heat pumps planning change to make installing heat pump easier for millions. BBC The rule requiring planning permission of a heat pump is within 1 meter of property of a neighbor. Property has been removed except edited by Rossep for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. A 501c3 non-profit organization MSN. A planning restriction that prevented heat pumps being installed within a meter of property of a neighbor has been removed. A change to planning rules is set to make it easier for heat pumps to be installed in homes. Previously, a key planning restriction meant heat pumps had to be 1 meter from the property of a neighbor, but the government has changed the rule in a bid to encourage the take-up of the technology. The change is part of the government Warm Homes Plan, which aims to cut emissions but also lower household bills. The government has targeted a UK market for heat pumps delivering at least 600,000 installations per year by 2028, meaning the changes could affect millions of people over time. Most homes currently use gas boilers and heating systems, but heat pumps run on electricity, taking in heat from the air or ground and amplifying it using a heat exchanger. However, they are not cheap to install, and campaigners have warned that while changes to planning laws may encourage some homeowners to switch, it will not necessarily help people who rent or those in leasehold properties, especially in older houses where a new system might also need new pipework or insulation. Consumer groups warn that the biggest barrier to installing a heat pump remains the high upfront costs. Why are heat pumps so important? Heat pumps are seen as one of the key measures that could help reduce UK emissions and are a priority for the government. Their importance to emission reduction was highlighted in a report from the Climate Change Committee (CCC) in February, in which it presented what it called a new pathway to a decarbonised UK, saying it would result in cheaper bills, energy security and more private sector investment. In the plans, it said 14% of emissions reductions by 2040 could be achieved through residential buildings thanks to new and replacement homes using low carbon heating and installations, mainly heat pumps. Heat pumps have also been touted as potentially saving cash for households, many of whom are facing prohibitively expensive energy bills. A representative from the eco-experts said the move could be vital to meeting government targets on heat pumps. Removing the 1-meter rule is a brilliant and critical step from the government, and if it does reach its target of installing 600,000 heat pumps a year by 2028, we could look back and view it as a vital move. It means it is less likely that planning applications will be rejected and fewer consumers will drop out of the process of having one installed. Every opportunity to get people to upgrade to a heat pump must be taken. Figures suggest that as many as 34% are put off from installing a heat pump because of planning rules. The government should seize this opportunity to expand the boiler upgrade scheme further and facilitate financing options for consumers to install heat pumps. The planning permission change comes after the government announced steps to encourage households to take up measures that would deliver cleaner heating in November last year. The steps are part of the ongoing rollout of the Warm Homes Plan. Octopus Energy told the Energy Security and Net Zero ES&Z Committee in 2023 that the 1-meter rule was instrumental in putting people off having a heat pump, saying 27% of its customers had been requested to obtain planning permission. It said many customers had decided against heat pumps when they become aware of the planning permission requirements, and those who had tried to proceed ended up waiting an extra 8 to 10 weeks on average, adding that the combined impact of all these things mean that very few of the 27% of customers who require planning have made it to install. In November 2024, the government said it would be allowing more households in England to install an air source heat pump without the need to submit a planning application from early next year by removing the rule requiring them to be installed at least 1 meter from the boundary of a property. This will provide greater flexibility with rules still in place around listed buildings. How many UK homes have heat pumps? The take-up of heat pumps may be slower than targets but is rising. As of 2023, the total number of certified heat pumps installed across the UK surpassed 200,000 according to figures from the MC's Foundation, the main certification scheme of the UK. It said 2023 saw a nearly 20% jump in certified heat pump installations compared to the previous year. The UK had seen its busiest ever start to the year for low-carbon heat pump installations, up by 1/4 on the previous year. Data suggested that through January 4,743 of the devices were installed under the MCs, which accounts for the vast majority of heat pumps across the country. Meanwhile, 21% of the new home market in the UK had a heat pump installed that month, up from 11% in January 2024. In April, government figures said heat pumps had a record 4,028 applications received in March, which is up 88% on the same month last year. Homeowners could expect to pay £6,500 to £11,500 for a heat pump. We recommend getting 3 installers. Quotes: the boiler upgrade scheme is a grant system that helps with the cost of the installation of a heat pump based on current energy prices. Heat pumps can save a typical gas household around £234 per year when they opt for smart electricity tariffs and remove the gas meter. Modern, well-optimized heat pumps perform well at higher temperatures, but households may wish to consider cost-effective insulation and some radiator swaps to reduce running costs further. 16. See United Kingdom heat pumps. What are heat pumps and how much do they cost? BBC heat pumps run on electricity instead of gas. They warm buildings by absorbing and amplifying heat from the air, ground or water. They are widely 16. The United Kingdom Worcester heat pumps. Cooler and warmer heat pump demand is reaching new heights as customers seek to use Worcester Business Journal. Despite concerns about impacts of tariffs and cuts to federal incentives, heat pumps are becoming standard equipment in the heating and cooling. 17. Belgium Brussels heat pumps. How do heat pumps work and are they worth the investment? The Brussels Times. A heat pump is a heating system that runs on electricity and works. A third option for a hybrid system is to opt for air-to-air heat pumps. That 18. China PM2.5. Asymmetric effects of natural and socio-economic factors on PM2.5 pollution in Chinese counties. Nature. We developed a spatial zoning plan for 2,851 counties in China using annual average PM2.5 remote sensing data from 2000 to 2015. Geographic detectors. 18b. China PM2.5 characteristics, seasonal variations and major sources of underivatized free amino acids in ScienceDirect.com. PM2.5 samples in rural coastal Qingdao. Other FAAs could not be measured in PM2.5 because the analytical method used here may not be very COVID-19 PM2.5 cardiorespiratory effects of wildfire smoke particles can persist for months even after a fire except edited by ROSEP for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. A 501c3 nonprofit organization Medical Express being exposed to lingering fine particulate matter PM2.5 from wildfire smoke can have health effects for up to 3 months afterwards. Exposure to lingering fine particulate matter PM2.5 was associated with increased hospitalization risks for most cardiorespiratory diseases. Respiratory therapy. The RT3 key takeaways: prolonged health risks. Exposure to wildfire smoke PM2.5 can significantly increase the risk of cardiovascular and respiratory conditions for up to 3 months after a fire, far exceeding previous estimates. Vulnerable populations at greater risk: people living in disadvantaged or vegetated areas and those with a history of smoking are more susceptible to the lingering effects of smoke-related pollution. Urgent need for updated strategies. The study calls for a shift in wildfire and air quality management, emphasizing prolonged public health protections like masks and HEPA filters even after fires are extinguished. Being exposed to lingering fine particulate matter PM2.5 from wildfire smoke can have health effects up to 3 months afterwards, well beyond the couple of days that previous studies have identified, and the exposure can occur even after the fires have ended. According to a new study in epidemiology, this medium-term exposure to PM2.5 from wildfire smoke was associated with increased risks for various cardiorespiratory conditions including ischemic heart disease, cerebrovascular disease, arrhythmia, hypertension, pneumonia, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and asthma. PM2.5 is a mixture of tiny particles and a major component of wildfire smoke compared to non-smoke PM2.5. Smoke PM2.5 is smaller in size and is considered more dangerous because it is richer in carbonaceous compounds which are more likely to induce oxidative stress and inflammation and thus pose a greater threat to public health. The study also showed larger effects in neighborhoods with more vegetation or more disadvantages, for example lower education or unemployment, lower housing quality and higher poverty, as well as among people who have smoked at any point in their life. This is the first study to examine the medium-term health effects of wildfire smoke. It is also the first to comprehensively assess its impact on all major types of cardiovascular and respiratory diseases. Even brief exposures from smaller fires that last only a few days can lead to long-lasting health effects. In total, 13,755,951 hospitalizations for cardiovascular diseases and 7,990,910 for respiratory diseases were recorded among residents of all ages across the 15 U.S. states: Arizona, Colorado, Delaware, Georgia, Iowa, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, North Carolina, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Washington and Wisconsin. They were linked across time and location using residential addresses to smoke PM2.5 exposures between 2006 and 2016. Among the conditions studied, hypertension showed the greatest increase in hospitalization risk associated with smoke PM2.5 exposure. Wildfires can burn for weeks to a month and smoke PM2.5 may linger in the air for extended periods, which may keep the air toxic even after a wildfire has ended, said the corresponding and first author on this research. Current wildfire strategies are outdated and ineffective. For example, prescribed fires can reduce wildfire risk but are mainly used to protect property rather than public health. Greater effort should be placed on wildfire management rather than relying solely on traditional air quality control strategies in response to the increasing wildfire activity. As wildfires become more frequent and intense and their burden on human health becomes clearer, addressing the health impacts is a critical public health priority, said the Dean for Public Health and Chair of the Department of Public Health at the Mount Sinai Icahn School of Medicine. The public and clinicians should take preventive measures during and after wildfires, such as wearing masks and using high-efficiency particulate air HEPA filters, which are becoming more affordable. Findings from this study underscore the need to continue such preventive measure for a prolonged period after the fires have ended. Collaborative efforts across federal, state and local levels are essential to safeguard the health of communities nationwide. 19 BPM 2.5 efficient field correction of low-cost particulate matter sensors using machine learning. Mixed nature. Most of the current research on prime minister particle matter pollutants concentrates on fine PM 2.5 particles of diameter below 2.5 micrometer. This is because small COVID-19. See PM2.5 prenatal exposure to PM2.5 constituents in newborn leukocyte telomere length in a ScienceDirect.com. Prenatal exposure to fine particulate matter PM2.5 is related to alterations in newborn telomere length TL, an indicator of cellular aging. 20 Wood smoke. Long-term cardiorespiratory effects of wildfire smoke exposure revealed. NewsMedical.net compared to non-smoke PM2.5 smoke. Repeated exposure to eucalyptus wood smoke alters pulmonary gene and metabolic profiles in male long Evans rats.
Cat's corner strategy with Tiger and Leone. Saying the quiet part out loud. Roar. Hi, I am Tiger. Our human asked us to get up from our naps and start Cat's corner strategy with Tiger and Leone. She gave us a list of internet allies which we will post for her here.
Hi, I am Leone. It is better for your mental fitness to go to these websites than to go to bro sites for advice. Substack letters from an American Heather Cox Richardson. Substack your local epidemiologist. The Midas Touch. The Guardian. The New York Times.
One introduction. Rosette view. The United States government was on track in the Biden administration to reduce the prices for both clean energy heat pumps and clean energy electric cars. Trump tariffs are expected to upset those plans to prevent future air pollution and prevent climate change. The United States government should, instead of certifying wood stoves as safe when they are not safe, go forward with regulations that ban wood stove use and direct government money for use of forest refuse only for home building and furniture building. For just a few examples of use of forest products for non-burning uses, it is well known from scientific and medical research that wood burning is a substantial source of PM2.5 emissions, yet the wood burning industry uses the scientifically debunked theory named carbon neutrality of wood burning to argue that wood burning replacing coal burning in industry, and in a trickle-down argument that wood burning should continue for home heating should continue. Presumably because it is called renewable. Wood may be renewable in the sense that a tree can be planted in the place of a cut-down burned tree, but it takes centuries or decades for the newly planted tree to attain the stature of the cut-down burned tree. During those centuries or decades, photosynthesis, which converts CO2 to oxygen, and so sequesters some carbon, will not take place at the same rate as photosynthesis was performed previously, and wood burning emits both CO2 and PM2.5, and PM2.5 is not absorbed by trees, so PM2.5 is not diminished by planting a tree in the place of a cut-down and burned tree. In fact, a living tree closes its pores against the presence of PM2.5 from nearby wood burning, just as humans hold their breath in the presence of PM2.5 from nearby wood burning. And when a tree closes its pores, the level of photosynthesis that absorbs CO2 pollution goes down. Wood burning emits 90% PM2.5 particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lung, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. Contrary to many beliefs, wood burning emits 2.8 times the PM2.5 as the fossil fuel coal burning, and wood burning emits 450 times the PM2.5 as the fossil fuel natural gas burning. Replacing coal burning with wood burning creates more air pollution in the form of CO2 and PM2.5 than coal burning. This emission data comes from testing the cleanest burning wood stove in the United Kingdom. The Eco-Design Wood Stove and International Convention does not count the emissions from wood burning. The emissions from wood burning are erased from all countries around the world when calculating if each country has met its climate goals. This non-counting or erasure of wood burning emissions data from climate goals does not mean wood burning emissions do not exist. Rosette view. Purple air. PM2.5 monitors hanging from the eaves of the house of a near neighbor should be used to measure the level of PM2.5 in the air hyperlocally in the yards of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners. If PM2.5 levels exceed World Health Organization standards of 5 micrograms per cubic meter annually, then that evidence of air pollution from wood burning should lead to the shutdown of that indoor residential wood burning appliance, one appliance at a time if necessary.